Hey guys, my name is Neil and this is my 2002 Toyota MRS. My background, I've actually owned a lot of like JDM cars, coupes, convertibles. I've had an NB Miata and an AP2 S2000. So I've always been into like JDM Japanese roadsters. And I was watching some best motoring hot version battle videos and came across the Techno Pro Spirit Toyota MRS, and seeing how it just whooped the ass of like so many cars. I just saw its potential, how it like drove, and I was really intrigued. So I started looking into the platform, and then as I looked up like the MRS like hashtags and stuff, I saw how people built it and its potential. So I went on Craigslist and started looking for it, went on OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, and eventually I stumbled upon this one. But prior to this, I saw like a white one, red one. The deals didn't go through. This black one was a really good deal. It was pre-pandemic, so the market price wasn't as crazy, and just picked this up because I wanted a fun like canyon car, lightweight roadster. We'll start with the front end here. First off, I have like an entire TRD style lip kit, and this is the front lip. It's super beat because I drive on track and the canyons. I have the JDM MRS badge. The MR in MR2 actually stands for midship runabout. A lot of people think it's mid-engine rear wheel drive, but it's not, and so that's actually on the emblem. And another thing is because it's a midship, the motor is actually in the center of the car. The front here is actually a frunk, and to open it you actually have to go through the passenger glove compartment. So, and there's like a little flick here, and in the front I just have a strut bar, and originally this is a spare tire compartment. I don't have a spare tire, so I'm just using it as a frunk. Generally put like a gym duffel bag or a backpack in here. It's actually pretty spacious. It's more spacious than it looks. So for suspension, right now I'm actually on Megan Easy's, but it's a temporary setup. I have my friend Kevin who's setting up my suspension from S3 right now. He's doing a custom build for me on that, so I'm just waiting for that. And over here for the wheels, I'm on Volks Racing TE37's SLs. These are the lightest TEs that are made. And right here you can see that I'm running Club Racer brake pads, the Project Muse. They are amazing. For tires, I'm running Falcon 660s. They're 205/50. It's a squared setup. And under the car, which you can't see, I actually have a whole Corky's like under bracing for the front, the middle, and the rear. So the car has a full under brace setup. So the side skirt is also the TRD style lip kit. The TRD has been discontinued, so I got a VIS one, and the fitment is actually very close to the TRD. It's really, really good. And right here, I do have a Club Racer door number just from the track. And the reason why this sticker is over here is because the side skirt actually cracked from the track, and being too lazy to patch it up, I just decided to put this side vent for cooling since the motor is in the back. And this vent is actually not the original vent, it's the facelift vent from the 03 and up model. So I guess I'll start with the steering wheel because that's what we make contact with the most aside from the seat. This is a Momo Monte Carlo. It's a 320mm steering wheel. I like the smaller steering wheel on this car because it's such a small car, and it is running like an NRG hub and quick release. The Momo horn button, however, this is a Momo Japan horn button. It's pretty rare, and it's one of my favorite parts of this car. Another thing is I did get an aftermarket like shifter boot from Superclass. So it's a black and red stitching to match with the rest of the interior. And that's a Scion TC head unit to kind of make the car a little bit more modernized. It's touchscreen with Bluetooth. Also, the little knobs over here are aftermarket. I got them from Midship Runabout. It's a discontinued product, but I just like the aluminum look. So just to change up the interior a little bit. The shift knob, another favorite feature of mine, is the Hyper Teardrop knob from Battlecraft Parts. Shout out to the homies at Battlecraft. On the driver's side, I have a Brid Zeta 4 seat, and the passenger side is actually a Brid Z-Egg 4. The difference is the Z-Egg is actually a little wider, so my passengers will feel a little bit more comfortable. This one's a little bit more aggressive in terms of positioning. And also I do have a Hard Dog roll bar. This is the double diagonal roll bar. I had Art of Attack install the roll bar for me. Thank you guys. And this is a little GoPro mount that I have set up just for the driving footage of track and toge. And one of my other favorite features of the interior of this car is that it has 3 cup holders. So none of them get into the shifter's way. I've had an NB Miata and an S2000, and they had horrible cup holders for convertibles, but this is like the best. And as you get older, you guys will appreciate cup holders. So this is a 1600mm carbon fiber GT wing off an S2000. I actually got it off the Facebook market for S2000s. And then aside from that, I have the rear inserts from the facelift model. This is a mild but like really nice upgrade. And I also have the Art of Attack plate frame and custom license plate, Toge MR. If you guys know me on Instagram, it's Toge MRS, so I do love canyon driving. And we do have the TRD style lip kit in the rear as well, the rear lip, and the Apex exhaust. This is the WS2 exhaust, and I actually picked up the last one that was ever made. So yeah, shout out to my buddy TK for that. The motor is in the center of the car, right behind the seat, which is really nice because when you're driving, you can literally hear it. Right now, I temporarily have a stock intake on because I'm trying to pass smog. I am running a PPE setup for the headers and downpipe. The downpipe is a catless setup, so there is a bit of a smell to it, but I kind of like that. And it does make the car sound way better. I also have the rear strut bar over here as well. It's like a Cusco one, but it's not. I'm actually not sure what the brand is. Beginning of February 2022, the previous motor actually blew after my track day, and so did the open diff with that. So I decided to just get a new engine and transmission. I actually went to another stock 1ZZ motor, and for the transmission, however, I swapped it to a 6-speed transmission off a 2ZZ motor, which is the Celica GTS or Lotus Elise motor. And with that, I do feel better acceleration with the car. The car does get better MPG, and it's been more enjoyable to drive with the shorter gears and 6-speed transmission as well.
So it's gonna be my first time riding in an MRS. Whoa, yep, this is tight.
Yeah, I mean,
this is pretty tight, yeah.
The thing about Brit seats is they're made for small Japanese people, so you have to expect that when you're getting into the Japanese bucket seats.
Yes, sir, dude. I almost got stuck at the hips, I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
I don't think this seat's for people that are a little bit wider, but I mean, it's perfectly fine. Let's go for a drive now.
All right. I am gonna have the AC on because it's like 90 degrees out. My favorite thing about the car is how lightweight it is. The car weighs 2,100 pounds. When I actually weighed it with like 3/4 tank, it was 2,160. And another thing I love about the car is the 3 cup holders that I mentioned earlier. Going back to the lightweight though, my bad. I do love how lightweight it is because it affects the handling. The steering rack is also really, really good on this car. That's another one of my favorite things. You barely tilt the wheel and the entire car wants to shift. So the way the car rotates, the mid-engine handling feels amazing. And another favorite part of my car is that it's convertible. Driving top down in the canyons, there's nothing like it. I've had a bunch of powered cars that I've driven in the canyons, and because they weren't top down, not hearing the exhaust echo and not having the scenic view that you can with the top down makes a big difference. So to me, that's important. Even cruising down PCH with the top down is really nice as well. The only dislikes I have for the MRS is number one, how it looks in stock form. Without the kit and without the roll bar and wing, I still till this day think the car is hideous in stock form. Another thing that I dislike about the car is just the power. It feels plenty if you're just cruising day to day or going into the canyons, but for the track, I would prefer a swap. If I'm being specific, I prefer a K20 swap in it. And yeah, those are the only two things I dislike about the entire car. So shout out to our compound for helping me with tires. Shout out to S3 for helping me with suspension work and mechanical work, as well as Hopper. Shout out for the mechanical work and repairs as well. And I also want to give a shout out to Position Advance, just because of the training I get from the Stims to become a better driver for this car. And lastly, shout out to Art of Attack, just for helping me with the whole roll bar and parts. Thank you, ABC Garage, Adrian, for putting me on this show. I'm really excited to, just share my car and to have this opportunity to be here on your channel.